Yo, 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 breakdance, yo. I can't really break dance, but I'll break it down real quick. It's the Latinos Out Loud podcast. Hi, everybody. I feel like romper room. I see my friends. I see my family. Romper room, dating myself. Okay. Hi, guys. It's Rachel La Loca. You know, your friend to the end, to the very end. Te lo juro. I promise. It's Latinos Out Loud, or LOL if you like acronyms like I do. Another episode coming at you. How's everybody doing with their holiday weight gain? I'll give you a quick update. I gained 10. I lost 3. I got to lose another lucky 7. Give me some tips and tricks. People hit me up in the DM. These 7 are real hard, baby. They're real hard to lose. All that pernil, arroz con gandules, the candy canes. Yeah, I got to visit the dentist too. Way too many candy canes this holiday season. But Happy New Year, everybody. I think we can still say that, right? Happy 2024. It was a really nice holiday season, real quick. I just want to say, my family was a little ridden with some health ailments. You know, there's stuff going around here in New York City, stomach bugs, and no more lantern flies, no more of those kind of bugs. You know, that's a good thing. But like stomach bugs and upper respiratory things and, you know, lots of bodily excretions in my household with the 2 young children and lots of laundry. Lots of laundry. Still doing that laundry. Hello, Clorox. Okay, but I have a great guest here today. You guys know I get very excited when my guest is a friend. Okay, guys? And LOLeros, she's amazing. Oh my gosh. I kind of knew when I met her. Like, you know when you just first meet somebody, and this is like in so many regards, when you're entering into a relationship, a new friendship, a new business partnership, meeting a new boss, like you just know when somebody's special. You know? And I've studied her career and I've seen some of the results of her career in shows. Guys, I just want to introduce her because we're going to have such an amazing conversation that I know is going to inspire. She's the Senior Vice President of Marketing at Hartbeat Productions. Please put your hands together for Janina Lundy. Hey, Janina is in the building. How are you, girl?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
It's so good to see you. You're based on the West Coast. You're here in New York, and I capitalized on that, okay? I was like, okay, she's in New York. Gotta get her. Gotta get a what? Got a roughneck. Gotta get a roughneck. We needed her, okay? A lot of like musical just tangents, okay? But you've met me before. You kind of know what you're in for. Okay, Janina and I originally met at the Latino Hive out in Napa. I've spoken about this conference. It's not really a conference. This
gathering.
Yeah, this unification of amazing minds who are making strides across various career paths. And that's what I love so much about the Latino Hive. You kind of get there, and there's no hello, my name is. There's no I work at Hartbeat, or at the time, I guess were you still at Amazon?
I think I was at Amazon then, yeah.
Yeah. There's none of that. It's all about we're on an even playing field. We are here to build each other up, idea exchange if it happens. But listen, there's a lot of storytelling and sharing of incredible and inspiring paths like Janina. So let's just get into it. Girl, I introduced you and I gave all the LOLeros your title, which I'm so proud of. You guys, okay, one more thing. Before we hear Janina speak, which I promise you're going to hear her speak, okay? I got the press release when she got appointed to be SVP at Hartbeat, and my heart skipped a beat because I was so damn proud. You ever hear like one of your friends or like a coworker or like just someone winning? We gotta celebrate those wins. I celebrated to myself because I'm like, here's a hard-working, badass woman making strides and showing us, teaching us how it's done with her lessons and like the entertainment that she's putting out. And hopefully today we can delve into that a little bit more because I got you here. I did it. Yeah. For she is a jolly good fellow. I got her in the studio. Janina, I introduced you and I told people your title, but can you shed some light on what that means? Maybe you could talk about your day-to-day and what you do at Hartbeat.
Sure, yeah. So I have been at Hartbeat for 3 months now.
Wow.
So it's fairly new, but really exciting. Hartbeat was created by Kevin Hart, and we have 3 divisions. We focus on content, so our studios division, which is film, television, audio, podcasts like yours.
Whoop, whoop.
We have our media and distribution division, which focuses on distribution of our content, We have fast channels. We have experiential that happens. We have Heartbeat Weekend. So all different events that we do. And then we have Pulse, which is our brand partnerships division. And that focuses on developing brand-funded content with a number of different brands. So if a brand comes to us and says, we want to reach this kind of an audience, or we want to make people feel something, or we want to add some humor to something like allergy medication, like we did some work with Zyrtec, and make it funny. So things that people don't necessarily think about with humor.
That's really exciting. And I love doing that too. And you guys often hear me talking about that here. Like, we get supporters that come our way and they're like, okay, here's our brand message. How can you fold this into what you do organically through your voice so that the LOLeros will absorb it and take action and it not sound like an ad, like dry eye? Like, we don't want, I love Ben Stein, but I'm not trying to be Ben Stein on Latinos Out Loud. You know what I'm saying? So what's like your process? So like, when you have an advertiser like Zyrtec and you have this plethora of like opportunities within Heartbeat, within the Heartbeat house, what's the process of like, I'm going to find the solution? Share with us your tactics, if you will.
It's really, we have such a great team. So team of people that are humorous and great writers and creators. So it's really about understanding the consumer, understanding what they're looking for, like how we can connect. We talk about humor, heart, and heat in all of the work that we do. So it's important to include humor that doesn't always have to be laugh out loud funny, but at least elicits a smile and then connects to people emotionally, which is the heart piece. And that's really like where we kind of focus, is really having that funny piece, but having that emotional connection. And then heat is the virality, so having people talk about it. And that's what we kind of infuse in everything that we do.
Janina, can't you agree with me? I say this all the time, you guys. Like, as a comedian, when I'm on stage, I see the receptors opening. They're more receptive to messaging. And that took a while for me to understand, like, we can tie in advertiser messaging. And it can be the serious stuff, whether it's allergy medicine or working with a nonprofit that connects doctors to Latinos in the communities that they need them. Like, I work with so many different nonprofits that at first I was like, oh, no way, this ain't gonna work. This ain't gonna work. But then I'm like, no, anything can work, really. Because comedy, first of all, is a universal language. Who doesn't like to laugh? If anybody doesn't like to laugh right now, you could tune us out because, maybe we're not the show for you. But I think everyone loves to laugh.
Yeah, it's a way to connect across the board. It is universal. And, it's funny. I have this map that shows, like, how you write out laughter in different languages. So if you have, like, ha, 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 da, 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 like, all throughout. But laughter sounds the same everywhere in the world. Right. So that is the way to connect, across the globe.
That is such a fun job. And we often talk about that, like, where you can have those paths merge of passion and your profession. It's a gift. I feel gifted. I feel like this is a gift. Yeah. This is something that I'm super passionate about, but I know it touches people. I know, I'm not saying it's life-changing stuff, people. You know what I'm saying? But I am saying it's mood shifting. And maybe that is life-changing, like maybe we put people in good moods enough to make a big decision in life. I don't know. If you have a story that you want to share, hit us up at We Are Latinos Out Loud. Have we shifted anything in your life? Okay? Emotions. I don't know. Your likes, your passions. I want to hear about it. But I think it's a gift to do that in your profession. Did you ever think that was going to happen? I know you have an undergraduate degree. You have a master's degree in integrated marketing. How did you find this convergence?
Yeah, I guess it's all just sort of come together. Once upon a time, I wanted to be a film director. So that was always what I thought I was going to do. And I started taking marketing classes when I was an undergrad and really liked them. It all came because I broke an ankle and had to get screws put in and blah, 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 blah. So, like, I thought I was going to go to film school and things worked out. I ended up going to school in marketing. And at first, my first job out of college, I worked for a welfare reform agency.
This was a government
doing PR.
Yeah.
And that was interesting, and I learned, but not quite as exciting as working in the entertainment industry. But definitely, I learned there, and I learned about connecting with people. Like, part of that role, we would go into jails and talk to the inmates there about welfare reform and the programs that were available, for them coming out. So I learned about the connections that you need to have starting there. And then I worked in a number of different roles. ultimately, I worked for ad agencies, one called Global Hue, which I think you have some connection to, which was focused on multicultural advertising. At the time, it was the largest multicultural ad agency in the country. Yeah,
It was huge.
it was
yeah.
huge. Yeah. So I was working on both Black and Latino um, audiences for a number of different clients. Um, and that's where I really started to work on the entertainment side. I worked on HBO there, on Game of Thrones, which is an
What a
amazing
great
project.
show to
Yes.
work on.
So I worked there, and that's where I really started to get kind of the intersection of marketing and entertainment, which I love. So I worked on that. I worked on a platform called Voyeur, which was a subscription platform back then that was like daily episodes from a celebrity's life. At the time, we launched it with Kanye West during the Watch the Throne tour, which was a crazy time. Amazing project, though, and I learned so much from that. Then I worked on my own. After I left Global Hue, I had my own company, and I wanted to work in production.
Hello.
So I was developing content there and marketing, and I didn't think I was going to go back in-house anywhere. And then I ended up going to BET for what I thought was going to be a short-term assignment, and ended up being long-term.
How long were you there for?
I was there for 4 years.
Okay.
So it was supposed to be a 3-month thing. And then 4 years later, I was leading marketing first on the linear side, which is just like traditional television, and then we launched BET Plus. So that was the streaming. Yeah, so that was the streaming side. And then I moved out to LA during the pandemic, and I ended up getting a call from Amazon, and I moved over and worked at Amazon Studios and Prime Video. Again, focused on emerging audiences, so focused on Black, Latino, young adult audiences. And now here I am 3 months later. 3 months now at Hartbeat, which has been really exciting. And to your point, like really has brought everything together. I think, Amazon was a great experience, but to be in this smaller company, sort of in startup mode, with like a comedy legend, global superstar,
Hero to the show here. We love you, Kevin Hart.
has been really exciting. And like our mission as a company is to keep the world laughing together, which to your point, like what could be better than that? When I heard that, I was like, this is perfect. Kind of bringing together everything in my career, whether it's the marketing side, the content side, and then having this mission is so important and really connects to me emotionally.
It's so great. I mean, I read about the company, and I just feel like it really trickles down through the messaging. I'm hearing you say it.
Yeah.
Like, what a fun company to work for that connects with people, inspires people, lifts their moods, and such unique programming. I have the privilege of from time to time, I get these production gigs.
Okay.
I got called to work on Kevin Hart's Celebrity Game Face.
Oh, awesome.
I worked on 2 episodes. I don't know if I've talked about it yet on this show. But yeah, I'm a hustler. I'm out here working. She works hard for the money. So hard for it, honey. I do. So got called, went to Ice-T's house because Ice-T and Coco were on the show. Also went to Fat Joe's house because Fat Joe and his business partner were on the show. I had the time of my life. I'm like, look at my job right now. I was cutting up sliced cheese so Fat Joe can throw it in the air and his partner can have it land on his face. I'm like, this is my life and I like it. Okay? We're making people laugh. And I love game shows, you guys. You work on a lot of game shows.
We do. We have
Lots
a lot
of game shows coming at a Heartbeat. What are some of your favorite projects that you work on or that you touch on a day-to-day basis?
Well, let's see. I'm most excited. We have a new film coming out next week. What's the date? It's January 12th.
Next week?
Yes,
Yes.
called Lift. So it's a new film on Netflix that is amazing. It's an action film starring Kevin, so we're really excited about that one. I love Heart to Heart, which is our interview show that's on Peacock. So many amazing guests that have gone through there. I mean, there's just so much that we have coming. I'm excited. Let's see, we have a new series that's coming. That's also with Peacock called Fight Night. That's
Cool.
really exciting and starts production this month in Atlanta. So lots that's going on. For the game show side, we have Celebrity Squares,
Oh, right.
which is back on BET. So that comes out weekly. So many projects. We have like 70 projects in development right now.
Wow.
So a
you
lot
guys.
going on.
That's really exciting. And I've said this on the show before, but toot toot, gonna blow my own horn. You guys know that Kevin Hart won for his podcast Gold Mines, won the Signal Award, which we won the bronze in the same category. I've said this a few times, you guys, I'll say it again. It just conjures up such beautiful emotions for me because to be on this podium, this Signal Award Olympic podium with one of your heroes, just being in that position in and of itself is bigger than this trophy. I was like, wow. It's one of those moments that you're like, I work hard and I rarely jump off the hamster wheel. I just don't. I'm addicted to this hamster wheel. I'm like, gotta go. Need water. No, don't need water. Don't need water. And then I get off it and I win this award. I should say we win this award. We win this award. And I'm just like, oh yeah, we are on this hamster wheel, and this thing has been moving now for years and 370 something episodes. Yeah, Kevin Hart, thank you for being on the podium with me. Thank you for he doesn't even know, him winning gave me a gift as well.
Yeah.
It's hard work doing this, and I know what you do is hard work too. I want to talk a little granular. Okay. I don't think a day-to-day for you, it doesn't sound like each day is the same. It just sounds like there's this, things are thrown at you, new project. Janina, what's the marketing plan? Go. Is that how Kevin Hart talks to you? Or what's that like? What's the organization? What's that structure? Talk to us about the rollout of a show and what you have to do. Are you on a plane? Are you okay, what's the audience looking like? I don't know. Gotta go. Bye. What's your life like?
It's all different. I think every day is different. We have a really great team. There's a lot of young energy, creative energy that's really exciting. I think, we're back in the office now 4 days a week. And I think originally I was like, I don't want to go back in the office. I like being in my house, doing my workouts in the middle of the day and fixing myself a nice healthy lunch.
Exactly.
Or not so healthy
and getting on a
lunch.
Zoom and being very top ready.
Yes,
you know what
top
I'm saying?
ready.
But not so bottom ready. You know what I'm saying? You ever do that? It's
oh, definitely.
So, waist up, I'm ready for a meeting. You know what I'm saying? Bring me in the boardroom of the Zoom room. I'm ready, but just don't look down because down there are bicycle shorts.
If that, right?
If that. That's not, I'm going to leave it there, Janina. I'm going to leave it there. But yeah, sometimes we need air too, okay?
Yeah. But it's been actually really good getting back in the office and having that interaction with people, having that energy. We have these amazing new offices in LA.
Cool.
We have offices in New York, Atlanta, and LA, but the LA office is where I am, and it's been great being in there and having that energy and brainstorming with each other and having people come in and out of the office. Although now that the new year has started, everybody coming into my office, I'm like, they ask me questions and I have absolutely no idea. I cannot get my brain started back up for 2024.
Oh yeah, it's hard to
slow motion.
reignite.
Yeah, I told everyone that this week was a dry run, and next week we're really doing this.
Right.
So
Happy New Year, everybody. Let's get the champagne out of our bloodstream.
Totally.
And just chill. Maybe do a little work. Think a little hard. But next week, hit the pavement.
Yeah.
Hit the ground.
It's gonna be serious.
Well, that's a really smart approach.
So yeah, but it's good. I mean, every day is different. We're working on so many different types of projects, and there's different things. So we might be working on a film with one of our partners at Netflix. We might be working on a show, with Peacock, or we have a film coming with Hulu soon. So we're working with kind of all of the major platforms and streamers. So a lot of times they're doing a lot of the marketing. We're just making sure that our brand is represented the right way. But then there's other programs where we're managing all of the marketing. So for our podcast, for example, where we're out there and we're making sure that people are talking about it, and we're working with our partners there with Sirius,
which just got renewed, right?
This
partnership just got renewed.
Yes.
Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
We have a great partnership with Sirius. We have our LOL radio, which is 24 hours a
Love
day.
the name, people. Just
I know.
saying,
I was thinking there's a lot of synergy here with LOL and LOL here. So we have our LOL radio station, and then we have our podcasts. So we have a podcast called One Song, which delves into sort of the background of how different songs were made. And it looks at the stems, and it's like it was, I think, top 25 podcasts from the Atlantic
Whoop, whoop.
for 2023. It's an awesome podcast. And then Gold Mines, like you talked about.
Award-winning, not just Signal. Like,
Yeah.
congrats. It's really killing it out
Yeah,
there.
it
That's
is.
great. It's funny.
So yeah, we have a lot of podcasts that we're developing. So those are all distributed together with Sirius.
That's so exciting. Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, the public relations department sent over just a slew of things. I'm like, how is this? How do you do what? I mean, what's your method? What's the method to this madness? Because we, the consumer, we see the final product. You know, we watch, we talk to our friends. Yo, you saw the episode last night. I know, my God, it was so. But like, do you really know what goes into it? Like, I heard on a podcast episode you did, the She Suite podcast.
You have done your research.
Just saying, you know, the early bird gets the worm, people, and I like that worm, okay? And I like to be a prepared worm, okay? Yeah, you went to Lagos, right?
Yes.
Like, that's a part of a job that, like, oh my God, you were flying to Africa. Was this for production of a film?
No, that was when I was at Amazon. We were launching in Africa, and we went there to talk to different talent to really understand the landscape in Nigeria and all of the content that was being produced there. It was amazing. I want to go back to Nigeria. They have
What did you see? What did you learn?
in December they do like Dirty December, and it's like where you go and you hang out, and there's like all the party scene in
Like
Nigeria.
Hedonism Jamaica? Is that what we're talking about? So we need to talk about this offline? 'Cause
We'll talk about this after dark.
Hey.
Yeah. So no, I mean, like it was amazing. I've been to Africa, but I had never been to Nigeria. And meeting with the talent there and understanding all of the content that's being developed there, it was amazing. Yeah, I mean, we talked with people that were Afrobeat stars. We talked with directors. We talked to up and coming writers. There was a film festival that was going on at the time that I was there. So really getting to see all of the content being developed was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, to understand different cultures.
For
you know,
sure.
I guess that's what I'm hearing. That's a part of your job too.
It is.
Comedy is universal, but in marketing, you know when you're being spoken to, and we know when we're not being spoken to, especially as Latinos. We're so brand loyal.
Yeah.
That if you brand X stop talking to us, that's it. We done. I'm moving on. I'm looking for a new product to help me with my feminine issue, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Not that I have any feminine issues. I'm just using that as an example. We're good, by the way. We're all good. Okay. Anyway, enough about me and my femininity and our, this is exciting. So I want to talk a little bit about your like past, if you can. So I mentioned you have your undergrad, you have your master's. Like, talk to us about like, your first job having nothing to do with entertainment. And also you mentioned you went on your own for a while. You've been making some bold career moves. What's the fuel behind that? How do you seek your next opportunity and pursue it?
Yeah. I've been trying to figure out like if there's a through line or how I'm making these decisions. Sometimes things just seem like they happen. I was just talking the other day with somebody about the fact that I had been looking at a few different opportunities when I came to Heartbeat, and certain ones didn't work out, not because I had chosen. Like there were things that I really wanted, and there are things that are happening in the news that I won't even get into with some of these companies that show that things really work out the way that they're supposed to. Like if I would have ended up there, things would not be so great for me right now, right? And I just think that things have a way of working out. I've been working hard, and I've been having conversations. Like even for the role at Heartbeat, I had conversations with them for a couple of years. So really building the relationship and trying to find the right time for them, the right time for me. And I think that that's how things happen. And then just really working hard, I think kind of the way that you've been saying about yourself, the way that people talk about Kevin, working hard, and you don't know who's looking at that, right? So I worked with HBO when I was at Global Hue, and we know Lucinda Martinez.
Yeah, shout out to Lucinda.
Yeah,
who's
shout out
just
to Lucinda.
Looked out for so many of us here in New York City and beyond.
Yeah, and Lucinda really looked out for me. I mean, she was an amazing client and such an inspiration in the multicultural marketing space. And when I went to BET, the CMO that hired me at BET and Lucinda know each other well, are good friends, and have worked together in the past. And I didn't know until months into being at BET that the way that I got connected there was because Lucinda recommended me to her.
Aw, without you even
without me
knowing.
even knowing.
Oh God, I love that.
So I think
It's
there's
beautiful.
people, and Lucinda's looked out for me in other ways, like throughout my career. And I think that, you just have no idea like who's, speaking your name when you're not even in the room, and who's seeing the work that you're doing. And I hope, that I'm paying that forward with other people that, I see and that I'm recommending for different opportunities. Um, so yeah, I mean, I think that's how some of these things have happened, is other women who've spoken up for me and who've provided opportunities and opened doors. But some of that comes though with the hard work that I've had as well.
I love that message, and we need to continue that.
Yeah.
As women, as people, as Latinos, A, E, I, X, Y, Z, however you identify. Talk about those heroes that you have, or those people that are making amazing strides in their careers when they're not in the room. Like, it feels so good, and it's fulfilling. Lucinda's the type that she's just like, come here, I got you, come here, I got you, come here, I got you, come here, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's so many of those people, and she's needed. The Lucindas are needed. I don't know about you, Janina, like navigating, and I want to sort of get into that next, like navigating our careers. Do you get those moments? Sometimes I get those moments that I like crawl into bed, or I'm staring at my computer screen and I'm paralyzed. Paralysis by analysis. Sometimes I am a victim, because I am analyzing the job at hand, and I'm like, oh gosh, I don't feel equipped. I don't feel like I have the tools. And then I lean on my sisters. And then I lean on my network, and I'm not ashamed to do that. I call for help. I call people at this network. John knows, like, I've just made some phone calls because I'm like, I can't do this by myself. I'm not, intellectually equipped, and I'm smart, but I'm not an expert in whatever it is in that particular area that I need help in. And I have experts in my network. I got Janina, I got John, I got Carlos, I got Mike, I got Don. There's all these people at my disposal, but sometimes, like, I've seen people where it's like things get in the way of that call for help or that outreach. I'm not ashamed, but like, can you share some maybe moments that you've had where you're like, gosh, how am I going to do this? Am I equipped for this?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I never say no to a challenge. It's just a problem I have. But sometimes getting down that road, it's like you have to gather the tools. How do you gather the tools? How do you approach these difficult targets?
Yeah. No, I think you're right. It is about leaning on the network and admitting that you're having a tough time when that happens. I remember when I started at Amazon, I was like a week or two in, and it was so different from coming from BET and some of the past roles that I had. Tech is just kind of a different animal. And I started, and I was like, what am I doing? I literally called someone I knew, and I said, I don't know if I'm smart enough to work here.
Oh my God.
Like, I fully questioned myself, right? And he actually worked at Amazon at the time too, and was a few months ahead of me. And he was like, girl, I had the same thing happen to me. He said, I called my mom, like, I might have to move back in with you. This isn't going to work out. And what I realized was that I was trying to figure out how to be like the other people at the company. And I recognized that what I actually needed to do was show up as me. And the reason that they hired me was that I did have this different experience, and I did have a different approach. And of course, I'm smart enough to work there, right? And I'm bringing value in my own way. So I think it was really about that, like understanding that I need to show up as authentically me and bring the expertise that I do have. But I definitely took a pause at first, and it took calling somebody to help me, recognize that.
Yeah, I was really listening to your interview with She Sweets, because, like, I made the jump too. I worked in corporate for so long, 15 years of a paycheck and medical benefits, and sort of knowing what I was getting into,
Yeah.
knowing when the live events were happening, knowing when I had to travel here and there, and pre-planning, also trying to become a mom at the same time,
Yeah.
planning my IVF schedule
Yeah.
around these major events. Like, okay, we have the 50 most beautiful happening in June, so I think I'm gonna do IVF in May. Like, isn't that crazy?
Yeah. But I think a lot of women are dealing with that. Yeah.
But then I was like, I think I can go on my own, be as fulfilled, and support my family in the way that I want to. And I'm still working at it, y'all. You know, there's moments like Janine, I'm like, I'm going back. That's it. I can't, that's it. I'm done. I'm going to go look for a job. I'm going to call my friends. This is, this entertainment stuff on my own. I feel like I'm on just this isolated, like this island, Like, you ever see that Bugs Bunny episode of Waikiki Rabbit when he's like on an island? I don't know. I'm into animated stuff. But anyway, he's alone and he's like looking for coconuts and like he finds these two people that like they lose their boat, and I don't know. It's this whole Bugs Bunny thing, and it's kind of deep. And as an adult, I appreciate the cartoon that I watched as a little girl, trying to teach me and that you gotta survive, girl. I'm a survivor. Bugs Bunny was a survivor. I could do it too. Anyway, back to this.
Yeah.
I want to talk about, oh God, there's so much I want to talk about. But there was a program that I heard that you mentioned on that episode. She Writes or She Can Write. God, I think I'm messing it up. It's a writing program.
Oh, Women Right Now.
Women Right Now. That's it. I'm so sorry, Heartbeat. Okay, Women Right Now, which is so great. Women Right Now, Women Right Now.
Yes.
Can you talk
Little
about
play
that
on
program?
words.
Such a
Yeah.
great play on
Women
words.
Right Now is our program to help women of color, break into writing and directing. So we do it as a partnership with Sundance Institute. Yeah, so it's really about like exploring and championing women into this comedy space and into the entertainment space and opening those doors. So it's just that's something that we're really excited about. We haven't announced the new year yet, but it's something that when we develop those short films, they end up on Peacock. So it's not just an opportunity where we're teaching these women, but we're really helping them to actually get out onto a platform and using our relationships to do that.
I love those programs.
Yeah.
I mean, I was part of the National Hispanic Media Coalition, the NHMC Latin Extreme Showcase. They produced my little short film about infertility in the Latino community. And I'm so amazed by these accelerator, incubator, whatever programs are like, coined as, just how many people you meet along the way and how those people become lifelong resources or friends, if you're lucky. And I'm really appreciative of these organizations and companies that just give us that extra boost that we need. And that leads me to my next question.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I like to segue here. So we women of color are severely, still underrepresented in comedy. How many times I go to support a friend at a comedy club and it's like the whole lineup, it's like the one like Latina on the lineup is performing tonight at the Broadway Comedy Club, or like the one Latino. I just want to hear from you. What are you seeing as the state of the industry with representation in comedy? Usually I ask the question about media overall, but we can sort of focus in and hone in on comedy, which I love, because I want to tap into that, everything in your brain.
Yeah.
What are you seeing? What are you hearing? And how can we do a better job?
Yeah. I think we need to all support the people that look like us so that platforms know that, we want to see ourselves represented on screen. I think that, things are getting better. Mm-hmm. There's still opportunity. I was just talking to somebody about all of the talent that's within Sundance this year. And there is major growth for Latinos at Sundance on the films that have been accepted into the festival. So I think that we're going to see that represented on platforms, moving forward. People are going to buy those films and buy those series, and we're going to see some growth. I think that we're seeing growth from a global scale, like people wanting to see stories not just of us here in the U.S., but how we're living all around the world. And I think that is one of the benefits of streaming, is that there's such a larger distribution network where people can actually see everything that's going on. I think that all of the digital platforms are helping, like social helps for us to get all the stories out and seeing all of people of all different backgrounds. But yeah, I think it's really about us supporting each other. I think, when we have something that comes out, when a girlfriend of mine I actually have a girlfriend who launched a new podcast yesterday.
Oh, talk about it.
So
Let's support her.
we have to. Angela Rye has a
Okay.
new Angela Rye and Tiffany Cross have a new podcast that's coming out with iHeart, but it's important for us to promote each other. So, when she announces that that's happening, it's important that we use our network to make sure that we're extending it beyond, and that other people are talking about it. So I think like that's really important. Is it not for us not to just celebrate quietly to ourselves, but for us to announce it to the world?
That's a great point. We can watch it. We can watch the shows, but let's share.
Yeah,
Let's
tell people
talk,
about it.
right? Like, how many times do we all get together? It's like, yo, you seen this? Yo, you gotta see this. You gotta see that. Let's not just talk about it if it's good content. Let's also big up our friends, like whether they're working on the show, in front of the camera, behind the camera. I'm big on that. I'm such a proponent. I go to the shows. I support the shows. This podcast actually was created. Part of the message or part of the mission behind the creation of the show is because we needed a platform, or a platform didn't exist, where people could come on and boast about their work and showcase what they're doing so that people can hear about it and not get these shows canceled. And we can hear from the writers and the directors and the actors, but everybody involved, so we can come together, watch the show, and tell and show these networks that we out there and we need more. Feed me Seymour, feed me all night long. Feed us content. We're here like this.
Yeah, but we have to actually watch it and listen to it and talk about it. Otherwise, it doesn't get renewed, to your point. Like, we really have to support it.
And then we cry. Then we all get together and we cry about it. Like, oh my God, WTF, the show was pulled.
Yeah.
And it's not even in the carousel. We can't even down. And then we cry. We're good when we get together to and I say cry loosely, but we are good when we come together to shout it out. Why isn't it on the network anymore? But maybe we can start that process earlier.
Yeah, maybe watch it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, Janina, we're running out of time, which I hate. I hate when we run out of time. I would love to get a little personal, if that's okay.
Let's do it.
Okay, great. Yes, she said yes. Okay. I learned about your college career and everything, but I would love to hear from you about navigating your career. What are some of those maybe bumps in the road that you've encountered, and how did you kick them to the side, or how'd you steamroll over them?
Yeah. Let's see. I feel like one of the biggest challenges that I had early in my career is taking things too personally. And not understanding sort of the empathy that I needed to have to understand where people are coming from in different roles. I always thought I knew everything. So I think that was challenging early on. I had a hard time with authority, being told what to do. And I think
That's a real thing.
I think those are areas of growth that I've had, learning to delegate, understanding that other people have ideas and can contribute. I think that things would have moved faster in my career earlier on if I would have recognized some of those things, just not taking things so personally. So I think that's caused some bumps in the road, getting to where I am. It has worked out.
Yes, it has.
But I mean, I definitely think that that's something that I could have worked on. I think navigating my career, I took things so seriously. And I was always thinking about the business side of things. And I think that I forgot to have fun earlier on. And now I'm having a lot more fun. But I think that's something that I wish I had done differently, was just enjoyed some of the rooms that I was in and the opportunities that I had. I think that would have improved life. So that's something that I think about now. And that I encourage other people on the team, let's enjoy it. Let's have some balance that I didn't have.
I love that word.
Yeah. So that's something that I'm working on, and bumps that I saw earlier on. I think when I decided to go out on my own, I was somebody who was like you said, I talked about this previously, but I was somebody who was like, I'm going to continue working for other people. I like my paycheck. I like stability.
Yes.
And when I ultimately decided to go off on my own, it was definitely bumpy. I went through all of my savings, working for myself, but there was also a lot of fulfillment that I got out of taking projects that were specifically the things that I wanted to work on.
Right, and not just being handed, like, at the ad agency, here's your account.
Yeah.
Go get them, Tiger.
Yeah, marketing things that I didn't believe in
Ooh,
when I was at an ad agency.
hard.
It's tough.
Yeah, I don't know how much of a believer you are in Zyrtec, but like, no, I'm sure there were
Oh,
other accounts that were like,
Zyrtec, I actually, that's like pretty daily for me. Otherwise, my eyes blow up. But
yeah, they're pretty good. Zyrtec, I'm not mad, but I'm sure there were other accounts that you were like,
yeah, no, but
"Ah."
there were things, like, there are sugary beverages or things that I, personally didn't want to promote at the time or in the way that I was doing it, right? So when I was working for myself, it was, encouraging to be able to work on the projects that I was actually passionate about. But I was like, okay, where's my next paycheck going to come from? And so
Scary.
that was a different feeling for sure. And so that was a bumpy time, but an encouraging time. And I was able to bring on friends of mine, to work with me on different projects. And that was exciting, working with the people that I wanted to work with. So I think when I decided to go back in-house, like I said, when I went to BET, I thought that was going to be for 3 months. And here I am, what would this be, like 8 years later, still working for other people. But what I've realized is that it's possible to work for other people. It just has to have sort of an entrepreneurial feel for it to be something that works for me and to have like a little bit of autonomy and for me to believe in the purpose of what I'm doing. So I think, whether it's at BT or it was at Amazon or now at Heartbeat, it's really about, producing content and promoting content that shows us in it, right? That shows people of color in it, and gives opportunities for our stories to be showcased across the world, to have people laughing, to have people crying, to have people crying with laughter.
It's one of my favorite things to do is to cry laugh.
Yeah. So I think like having the opportunity to do that is fulfilling, and I don't, I'm happy to work with and for other people when the mission makes sense. And I think that's what I had to understand. Like that's the way that it can all come together, is having that entrepreneurial space, having, the opportunity to come up with, crazy ideas. Even at Amazon, which is a huge company, right? One of the things that's so exciting there is that if you have an idea but you can support it with data, like it's something that they will explore, right? So you get to have like this entrepreneurial feel. When I was there, we started 2 different platforms, talking to Black audiences, which was called Culture Rated, and talking to Latino audiences, which was Primero Latino. So starting those platforms was something that I thought was really important to highlight our content. And that was something that I was able to do there that felt entrepreneurial, and was important to me and connected to our audiences emotionally. So
That's so fantastic.
yeah.
Okay, still in this personal sphere.
Okay.
Can we talk about your status right now?
My-
Like your
Oh,
are you
I'm single and ready to mingle. Let's
She's
do
single.
this.
She's single. Everybody control yourself. Control yourself, LOLs. Yes, I get it. Don't go blowing up her DMs on Instagram.
Please blow up my DMs.
Oh, okay. Go blowing up her DMs on Instagram.
We're
like
accepting
I said.
applications. Yeah.
And drop all your data, okay? Your status, everything. 5'2". Just just send it to Janina, okay?
5'2".
Yeah, that's kind of short. Let's go 6'2". 6'2" is I'm 5'2", and that's why that number came to mind. But no, let's go a little. I don't know what your preference is, or if you have one, but you
No,
should just drop the stats real quick.
Yeah, I know. I'm single. I moved out to LA 3 years ago.
Congrats.
I'm dating. Yeah, I think that will be a focus for this year. I think that's like part of what I'm saying. Like I had been so focused on career, I don't think I had enough balance
That's
in
where
that
I'm
area.
going with this, because you
So.
sound so busy.
Yeah, I am busy, but I will
How-
make time for the right.
Give us, ladies, please, give us some tips. How do you balance? How do you date and have a successful career at the same time? Are you on call? Like, I have this vision of Kevin Hart calling Janina like 11:30 at night. Janina, here we go. What about to talk about? Okay, here we go. Listen, that's my Kevin Hart, because he's very like fast, but like you hear every word he says, which is so amazing. He's such an engaging speaker. It's like, okay, bet. Okay, here we go. I'm like, is he calling you at night? I'm like,
It's what? It's not crazy.
okay.
It's not as crazy as you would probably guess. I do work a lot. But I really enjoy it, and I think there's room for balance for sure. There's a lot of travel, but that's why I could actually date in any city right now, right? But
Okay.
but I think like for me, the balance is just making sure that I'm making time for taking care of myself. So like I work out almost every day. I play I play
Yes.
tennis. I
What?
box, which gets out a lot of
All right, tennis,
aggression.
advantage, Janina, and boxing.
I
Yo,
love boxing.
like fwa, like with the bag or like.
I do it with the pads. I have a boxing trainer that I work out with. Yeah. So I do that, which gets out a lot of my aggression.
That's good.
Um,
Good.
Yeah, tennis. I just started doing Pilates. I hadn't done Pilates before, so
Ooh.
this is new.
I stay getting those Instagram, the wall Pilates. I'm like, what are these wall pilates? I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to go up and down that smooth. I
Yeah.
don't know. You ever see she's like, nah.
Yes.
And then you see the butt result. I'm like, I want that. But
Yeah.
I can't like creep down my wall like a sexy T-Boz TLC dance move. I can't. My back, the sciatica, the 2 C-sections, the 2 epidurals. No, we're not doing that. We can't. Tell me about pilates.
So I'm doing the like mega former version of Pilates. Which yeah, and partially because of I'm like trying to get my butt right because
It's a lot of work working
it
on
is.
the butt.
It's
you know?
so important.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, it's vital. So so I've been doing that. You know, I make sure that I have time with my friends. You know, whether that's on the phone because I have friends that live all over, or that's seeing people in person. I just moved into a house.
Yay.
Yeah, so that's like my first time living in a house since I was a kid.
That's amazing, you guys.
So I've been living
Celebrate
I'm
that.
living in a house because I want to be able to host people and have parties and all of that. So I'm doing that. I love to cook, so I'm like having people over.
Do you have a nice kitchen? Do you love
I
your
do have a
kitchen?
good kitchen. Yeah, so it's
Yay.
fun. Like those are the things I'm making sure that I make time for. You know, seeing family. Even this weekend, I was like, okay, I'm on the East Coast. I'm going to go to Virginia and see my family that lives there, which is why I was like, oh, I have to run and get to the airport because I want to make sure that I make time for that. So
I love it.
Yeah.
Virginia's for lovers. In
it
case
is.
You haven't
Virginia
heard.
is for lovers.
I love the state one-liners. Don't get me started. I'm not going to do it. But
I don't know
I'm
if
a
I can
nerd.
remember all of them.
Well, I don't, but like when I hear them, it's like, you know, I love New York, like all those things about the state tourism stuff. I'm such a geek. I don't know what New Jersey's is. I wonder what New Jersey's is. Now I'm thinking about it. I'm going to try
It's the Garden State.
the Garden State.
But
Okay,
why
that
is it the
makes
Garden
sense.
State? I don't even know what that means.
Maybe a lot of people have gardens in their backyards.
I think we're both supposed to know that. I'm
Yeah, we
from New
should.
Jersey.
Or you're from New Jersey? From
Yeah,
Jersey?
I am.
You're from the dirty Jersey?
I am.
Yo, what part? Can you represent real quick?
Outside of Princeton, East Windsor.
Oh, that's deep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know what the gardens are about. Yeah.
The Garden State Parkway. Shout out to the
Oh,
Garden State
yeah.
Parkway.
Okay.
Shout out to the license plates. Yeah, I'm big on this stuff. Okay, next topic. This is Latinos Out Loud, not like Tourism Out Loud. But that's a fun podcast too. Holler at me. Tourism Out Loud. We work with all the different tourism boards.
I just went on my first solo trip ever.
Let's discuss.
I went to Colombia and Peru.
Wow. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Did you climb the mountains? What?
I did in between jobs. I was going to visit a friend of mine that moved to Colombia that's in Santa Marta. And I went to visit them. And that was amazing. It was beautiful. I saw them for a few days and then I went and I stayed on this coffee farm and it was beautiful.
Oh my gosh, coffee.
Yeah, I loved it. It was beautiful. And then I left there and I was like, okay, where else should I go? I was going to go to Italy. And I was like, why would I be in South America traveling to Europe? That makes no sense. Where else should I go in South America? I just wanted to go somewhere where it was still warm or it wasn't like freezing. And that was the issue. So I looked up the best restaurants in the world. Do you know that 4 of the top 50 restaurants in the world are in Lima?
Interesting.
I didn't know that.
No, did not.
So,
Thanks for sharing.
so I
What's
went
that?
there to go eat.
How was it?
It was amazing, delicious. And it was my first time traveling by myself. I talked to people I wouldn't have talked to. It was like a real journey of self-exploration.
Oh, Janina.
Yeah. And then I went to Machu Picchu.
I was gonna ask.
Yes.
And,
And
ayahuasca? Anybody?
I didn't do any ayahuasca.
Oh gosh, I was looking for the story.
Maybe next time.
Okay.
But I did go I did go to Machu Picchu, and I did the little like hike up to the top. It was beautiful and amazing. And yeah, it was never on my list of things to do, and it just kind of popped up, and it was beautiful.
I like this Lundy list, okay?
Yeah.
See what I did there? Not the laundry list, it's the
The
Lundy list.
Yeah.
And I see you checking off these boxes.
Yeah.
I love watching from afar. Kind of a nerd, you know, because it's fun to watch other people's sort of trajectory, especially when they're upwards, right? You're like, yeah.
Have you gone on a solo trip before?
Oh gosh, that's a great question. I've not.
Yeah.
I've not been on a solo trip. Oh gosh, I'm almost embarrassed to say that.
Yeah, so now you'll put it on your list.
Okay, I'm gonna put it on my list, and it's got to be somewhere far.
Yeah.
Like, oh gosh, is this a game we're playing?
I think so.
Okay, guys, it's time for Where's Your Solo Trip To with Janina and Rachel. Okay, where's my solo trip to? Okay, if I had a magic wand with an unlimited amount of funding for this trip, it may be a backpacking through Europe thing.
Okay.
I've always wanted to do that, and I mean like Amsterdam, Italy, Paris, je m'appelle Rachel La Loca. You know, like I want to go everywhere, but like rugged, like, you know, with my Jan Sport. Yeah. Okay? Yes, I have a Jan Sport.
I don't want to do that, but you should do that.
But it has to be a little luxurious. Like I have to like reset somewhere luxurious every now and then.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, there's other places. Oh, wait. Oh gosh, I talk about this on the show all the time. So I have this also like nerdy goal that I want to see 10 wonders of the world by the time I'm 50. Okay. And they could be natural or man-made because, you know, there's different lists.
Yes.
So I've seen a few. Like I've been to Africa twice, saw the temples of Giza in Egypt, went to Zimbabwe, saw the largest cascading waterfall, Victoria Falls, swam in the Great Barrier Reef in Australia, you know, things like that. I'm not going to like boast about my travels, but like it's got to be somewhere with another wonder of the world. So maybe China to see the Great Wall.
Yeah. I want to see the Taj Mahal.
Oh, good one.
Yeah.
Yes. Anywhere else? Let's talk about this.
Well, no, but the wonders of the world. I kept looking at the list of the wonders of the world.
Okay.
When I went to Peru, because I was like, okay, Machu Picchu, and the lists are all different everywhere. So I'm very confused about which ones are the actual wonders of the world. But I've seen the pyramids. What else is there? Taj Mahal.
Right, and then there are these like fictitious wonders of the world too, like the Babylon Gardens.
Okay, I don't know that one.
There's several different lists, and they do change, and you can like vote for them. I think every 10 years.
Oh, really?
And
okay.
then there are some that like are no longer considered wonders of the world, but are World Heritage sites.
Okay.
You know,
So you're up on all of this.
Like
maybe
Table
this
Mountain.
is a. Oh, I've been to Table Mountain.
That's a World Heritage site.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This has now become a tourism podcast.
I love it though. Like, we're just, you know, there's so much to see in the world.
Yeah, I agree.
I love being subjected to different cultures, like which was your earlier point, and like traveling to Lagos and like talking to the local talent.
Yeah.
Things are different. We're so ethnocentric sometimes, or we're like, no, the New York is the capital of the world. No, it's not. Like, there's a lot of places out there that are conducting incredible business and like media and entertainment. Okay, back to this game. I also want to go to my motherland, the Dominican Republic, and see everything.
Okay.
Like, maybe not backpacking through DR because, you know, the crime out there, they'll steal your backpack. They'll cut the weave right off your head. You know what I'm saying? My mother warned me about that. She's like, ten cuidado porque la capital está manejando y cortando el pelo. Like, they'll just be on the motorcycle and cut your braid off on the way. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, no, I don't know. I'm not going to do a backpacking through DR, but my whole childhood, we would go to DR and mostly visit family, you know? And I'm like, not to quote the tourism line, pero DR, Dominican Republic lo tiene todo. That's what they say in their tourism campaign. It does have everything. There's caves of the Taíno Indians, you know, Las Cuevas del Pomiel that I visited as an adult. Like, I want to do more of that stuff. I want to see the etchings of the wall, on the wall of my ancestors. I often lean on my ancestors for like answers. So like to be in a ceremonial ground, oof, it's just like, it's life-changing. there are things in Dominican Republic that like I started to like uncover, like the Museum of Amber, like there's the Faro a Colón, the Columbus Lighthouse. Like there's all these like tourist destinations, and then also these cities that have deep history, like Las Hermanas Mirabal. Like I'm dying to go to their house. They were the sisters, these revolutionary sisters. I'm sure everybody knows about it. The time, in the Time of the Butterflies, the book by Julia Alvarez, the movie with Selma Hayek. These women were anti-Trujillo, the dictator in the Dominican Republic, and they stood up to him and they formed like these underground meetings and like revolutionaries, and they set out to kill him, and they got assassinated, and now their house is a museum, and I need to make my way there. I need to. Gosh, this has become like a love of my like motherland episode.
But I think that if you bring it all together, like that story is really interesting, right? There's so many interesting stories that you only find if you go around the world, and you can bring that to everybody. Not everybody gets the chance to travel everywhere, so we want to go and we want to experience those things and bring them to people on the big screen, so that they get the chance to experience it in their own way.
I love your travel bug. Where to next, by the way? Have you given that some thought yet?
I don't know where I'm going next. I don't have anything planned. I really want to go to Chile. So that's on my list. I haven't been to Portugal.
Oh.
I want to go to Portugal, but then I sort of feel like everybody's going there. So I kind of like to go places where I feel like not everyone is talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's about. I should talk about that with my therapist.
I went for a day. I went to Porto because I was in Spain. I was like, let's do Porto. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like cool. It's like a cool city. You ever go to those cities and like, you'll go to the towns that are like, there's one general store, like Main Street or whatever.
Yeah.
Then you go to a city that's so posh and eclectic, and it's like, people sipping their cafe and America. Whatever. I like that though, because it's like, oh, this is such a different culture.
Yeah.
Oh, nobody's working between 12 and 2. That's cool. Okay. It's just, I like to see that. There's differences around the world, but we are all, comedy unifies us. There's so many common denominators, and I'm just throwing comedy out there right now because you're here.
Yeah.
Okay. Just one or two more questions because we got to wrap this up. I often ask this of my guests, Janina, like now having this amazing career, which is so far from over. I just can't wait to watch this.
Thank you.
What are some words of advice that you have for a younger Janina if she were here? And she here because she listening. She's one of the LOLeros, or 10 of them, or 100 of them, or more. What are some words of advice that you have for that younger you that other people can draw inspiration from about anything, career, life, anything, based on the challenges that you've been through and how you've come out of them?
Yeah. Well, I think some of it's like what I was saying before about not taking things too seriously, and really enjoying life. I think when I think about like what success looks like, I think it's about, spreading love and kindness and trying to show up in a joyful way. So I think that's what I would tell myself is to focus more on that, to focus on relationships and connecting and spreading joy. I think like people that you look at that are most successful in life, that's what I think about. I think that about people who are joyful and kind. And so I think that's like what I would tell myself, is to enjoy life a little bit more.
Those are great words.
Yeah.
Just want to let that penetrate real quick,
Yeah.
I'm also like afraid of silence sometimes, and I've learned to like, silence is okay every now and then.
I don't, probably not too much silence on podcasts, but silence in general is good. Yeah. I actually think about that all the time. Like when we do talk about like this dating thing, I have said to somebody, like, I want to find someone that I want to be silent with.
Oh.
I think that like where I want to share space, but we don't have to be talking. Right. I think that that's when you really know that you have a real connection with somebody, whether it's a friendship or a relationship. I do agree. Silence is important.
Yeah. I sometimes, now I'm like, I bask in my own silence sometimes. I find my thoughts in my silence. I find the things that I got to do for my kids in my silence. I can't find those things with the TV on or mom and dad talking in the background. Dad's losing his hearing, so he's talking mad loud these days. I'm like, yo, wow. The TV's on 100,000 and you're also yelling real loud. In my older years, I'm also developing this like sensory sensitivity thing. Help me out, people. I don't know how to like get over it. When the tablets are on, like let's say both kids got the tablets going, right? And then like dad is talking to me and then the phone is ringing and then like an email pops up. Ding! It's just like, ha, 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 ha. Like I feel my anxiety rising from the sensory overload and I don't know what to do about it. I'm scared.
I don't know if this is an age thing. I am having that too. Like
You are?
the noises
Makes me feel
bother
better.
me so much. I don't know
on?
what's going on. But no, I do think that is that the point about silence and your own silence is something that I've noticed is important for me now, and I think is another area of like success of being able to be still and silent. Every once in a while, I'll drive without any music on, and like being able to be alone with your thoughts is really important.
Yes.
Not having to have interruption, not having to have things, not having to always have sound on and distraction, but being able to like sit with your thoughts is really important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also find that like I'm trying to find what works for my thought process.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm in a business thought process and that's a unique place to be. Now, I mean, look, it's 2024. We're in January, and I'm still sort of developing what my 2024 is going to look like around Latinos Out Loud, around the Hilarious Show, around Rachel La Loca.
Yeah.
I want to go to LA in March. There's a lot going on for podcasting there at the end of March. And I'm just sort of like, I need to be in silence, and I literally have to write things down. And I did something new for 2024.
What'd you do?
I bought mad wipe erase boards.
Okay.
I bought mad wipe erase boards, mad markers, and mad Windex. Cause I can't like writing on paper for me now is getting a little too messy.
Huh.
I'm going through papers on my desk and I see my kids' homework in the pile. I'm like, how'd this get here? I'm seeing bills. So now I'm doing the wipe erase thing. Everything is wipe erase.
Okay.
And it's working so far.
Good. Whatever works.
Yeah, whatever works.
Do you do a resolution?
I didn't really do a resolution. We could do it right now if you want.
Okay, sure. What's
You want to play that game?
If you'd like, what's your resolution?
Oh my God, Janina, I love a good Q&A, especially when I don't have to give the Q and then I have to give the A. And let me think about this. Okay, can I give a few?
Okay, sure.
Okay, health. Health is always going to come to the top. There's
Health is
always
wealth.
things I could do better for my health. I mentioned some weight gain at the top of the episode. That's my own fault. I am taking accountability. I'm not complaining here about the weight gain. I ate all those stuff that I mentioned. I also have a dark chocolate obsession. I've got to cut that down a little in 2024. I know there's, antioxidants and stuff, but how many times am I going to tell myself that? I get on the scale, I'm like, the antioxidants just put 10 pounds on the scale. Maybe my heart's doing well, but like my waist is not. So I want to eat better. I've got to try new things. So I'm going to confess here. I don't like fish. I don't eat fish.
What?
I know.
I love
Like
fish.
seafood, lobster, and all that stuff, right? Like, I'm missing out, you guys. Like, everyone's like, oh, but those are the finer things in life. I'm going to try some new stuff in 2024.
I like that.
That's the food and health. Those are the food and health buckets. You mentioned something before that is sticking with me.
What's that?
Empathy. I'm finding in this industry, there are a lot of people that completely forgot about that word, and I'm not going to let that happen to me because I do see it slipping sometimes where I'm so business focused. I like find myself not thinking about the person on the other end of this phone call, what their day was like.
Yeah.
They may have had a bad day.
Yeah.
And I'm here just, I need this and I need that and I want this and I want that. Okay, great. Talk to you later. Bye. And I want to inject some more empathy and thought into my business. Like, we all have our bad days.
Yeah.
Gosh, I have some bad days and I have to do my work. I have to do the podcast or like help the team out with some social stuff or produce a live show at Brooklyn College. Like, there's so many things. And if I'm having a bad day, if my kid is sick, oh my God, there was so much vomit over New Year's. My God, they had stomach bugs. It was everywhere. It was just like I had to like use an umbrella to to hide from all the flying bodily fluids that were coming out of these kids' mouths and whats. But that was a hard day for me. The day when like There was a moment, you guys, I'm going to be very honest, and this is probably going to be gross, TMI. There was a moment where the dog couldn't hold his bowels, so my 12-year-old dog was going. My 5-year-old was in the bathroom like, Mommy, I can't control the number 2. And then my 8-year-old was vomiting, and then I got the stomach bug, and I was like, you know, and watching everybody else throw up too, you know, that feeling of like, I can't hold it down anymore. I can't swallow it, you know? And everybody was doing something gross. And I'm like, this is my life right now. It's a hard day. I wonder if anybody who I get on the phone with later is going to know what my day is like. Probably not. But I think we can inject empathy into our lives at all times. We're living in a really difficult world right now. There's so much shit going on, especially here in New York City. A train derailed for the one train yesterday. Thank God nobody got hurt. But as a New Yorker, I'm like, wow, I don't think this is something that I've seen. And I have to have, like, let's have empathy for people that may be late. You know, traveling on the trains today. The trains are messed up in New York. So thank you for saying that.
You know, my coworker keeps saying, assume positive intent. And I think that, like, to your point, you don't know what people's day has been like. You don't know what's going on in their lives. And I think that mind shift has made such a difference for me, because I think you automatically go to, like, this asshole did whatever, you know, whatever. But if you just assume that whatever is going on, that they mean well, like, it changes how you interact with people.
They mean well.
Yeah.
I also
Even if it's not true.
But that's fine.
But let's
Just tell
assume
yourself,
positive
right,
intent.
exactly. A film director a year ago shared this with me too, and I like to take tidbit. You know, I take and then it stays, and then it stays. So he was like, I think it's really important to lead with love, and I added professionalism to it.
Okay.
So I try to lead with love and professionalism 24/7, and so far, like that's been a good gilded path for me. We have to wrap this episode. I'm really sad about that. I'm very bad at, like, Latino goodbyes. I'm like, you know, I just want to prolong the goodbye because I don't want her to go. She has a flight to catch, but I'm really enjoying this catch up. And I think that we've really spoken about some topics. Yes, about media and
So many
entertainment,
different things.
so many different things.
Yeah.
This was a well-rounded interview. Janina, if you would drop the socials, just any projects that you'd like the LOLeros to, you know, follow up and take action on, this is the time for that.
Okay. My Instagram is msjanina, Janina. I'm on LinkedIn. And yeah, tune in for Lift on Netflix, January 12th.
Yay.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
Thank
Janina,
you for having me. It was a pleasure.
It really was a pleasure. I hope you come back. You're doing such amazing things. You're breaking down doors, and you're like, Krah! You know what I mean? Thank you for doing that for us. And I just can't wait to watch what comes out of your life at Hartbeat. This is great. It's only 3 months, but I mean, you're already doing a lot, and I can't wait to see what unfolds.
Thank you so much.
This was so much fun, you guys. I don't know if you could tell. I'm really trying to contain the excitement post-interview. I'll probably have to go do some cartwheels here in Astoria. And there was an earthquake the other day here in Astoria.
There was?
I mean, yes, there was a freaking earthquake in Astoria. It was felt on Roosevelt Island and Astoria. Let me tell you a story about an earthquake. I can't believe it. And I'm on the Upper East Side. I didn't feel anything, but it was at 5:45 a.m., okay? You guys are probably more used to this earthquake stuff out on the West Coast. We're not, you know? Like, it was on every news outlet. It was like, you know, batten down the hatches. My sister called me from North Carolina. Are you okay? Did you mark yourself safe on Facebook? I'm like, no, I did not have to mark myself safe on Facebook. That's such an exaggerated thing, by the way. Sometimes you ever see, like, your friends, like, you know, Mark marked himself safe from the thunderstorm. Like, thanks, Mark.
I've never heard of this.
No, there's this thing on social that, okay, we'll talk
Here we
about
go.
it.
We're
But anyway, I have the giggles now. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Please give us a call. 978 Latinos is the number. You can also follow us at We Are Latinos Out Loud. You can follow me at Rachel La Loca. That's Rachel La Loca. And I'm on all the platforms. I'm even on LinkedIn as well. Come follow me on LinkedIn. It's a great professional time. You can see some reviews of my corporate work. I'm Rachel Strauss on LinkedIn. Yeah. LinkedIn is important.
It is.
Yeah. Okay. I wanted to say something else about the single life, but I'm not going to. I'll save that for another episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Shout out to everybody at this network. Happy New Year, y'all. Happy 2024. Seize it, love it, and have fun, like Janina said while doing it. On that note, we out.
It's the Latinos Out Loud podcast.